Greetings and welcome back to Drew's Office. If you've ever wondered how to keep your content organized, stay consistent, you're in the right place. And guess what? We're going to do it using the powerful tool Microsoft Excel. Let's kick off things with step 1. The best place to start is with our column headings. Now we can highlight the cells and apply some formatting. We'll make it bold, add a background color, and if we place the cursor in between two columns, we can drag to resize some of these. The video ID column will help us to identify each video, whilst the other columns capture essential information. And as simple as it looks, this Excel sheet will be our content hub, helping us to stay organized and consistent with our YouTube uploads. Now we're ready to enter the first record inside our fantastic content hub. In the UK, we enter a date like so, and because we've used a /, Excel will identify it as a date. And if we click on this drop down, we could choose this option to change the format to a long date. But if we want to create our own custom format, click this option down here, click on custom, and then in this box, we'll have DD to represent the 25th. Then we want a space, followed by 3 M's for the month and 4 Y's for the year. The upload column will either be yes or no. Enter the title of the video. Now with the next 2 columns, we can get the data to automatically appear by building a formula. And if you want to know more about functions and formulas in Microsoft Excel, I'll leave a link at the end of this video. With the status column, let's just say there are 3 possible scenarios. Scenario 1, suppose we have a video idea, maybe we haven't started working on it yet. We want the status to say planned. And then as soon as we enter a publish date, we want the status to change to in progress. And then finally, if we've entered a publishing date and we've uploaded the video, the status should change to published. These 3 scenarios can be wrapped up inside an if formula. And actually, because we have multiple conditions, it's going to be a lot easier if we use the ifs function. For each logical test, Excel will calculate the answer to be either true or false. In this second box, we get to say what will happen if the result is true. So for the status to change to planned, we're going to say 3 things have to be true. We'll use the AND function. The first condition is the publishing date has to be blank. The second condition is the upload has to be set to no. The third condition is the title is not empty. From a practical point of view, what this means is if we type something in the title column without a publish date or upload, the status will automatically change to planned. If the second scenario is true, we'll set the status to in progress. And 2 conditions have to be true for this one. The publish date is not empty. And the upload is set to no. The third scenario will set the status to published. For this final test to be true, we need to have a publish date. In other words, this cell cannot be empty. And the upload needs to be set to yes. We can verify that the formula is working by changing the values in other cells. If we remove the publish date, for example, the status should change to planned. If we change the upload to yes, it should change to published. And whilst we're here, for this column, we may as well have the yes or no as a drop-down list. On the Data tab, click on Data Validation. And in this cell, we only want to allow a list, and the list is no or yes. With the day column, we need a formula that will look at the publish date and extract the day of the week from within that date. Let's have a look at the text function. With the text function, we can simply say, look at this value in this cell here and format it as DDDD so that we get the day of the week only. By converting our range to a table, we'll be unlocking a powerful tool in Excel that will help us to streamline our scheduling and make tracking our videos a breeze. Click anywhere inside the current data row. On the Insert tab, click on this button here. Let's rename this table. One of the main advantages of using tables is that new rows are automatically added to the table. But when we enter the ID number, we see a slight problem over here. We'll need to fix these before we proceed. This formula is only reacting to the values in columns B and C. And until we do something in those columns, none of these logical tests are applicable, hence the #NA error. In this case, the error message is pretty harmless, but just for tidiness sake, we'll fix it using the if_error function. And the if_error function only has two arguments. The value is which formula do we want to evaluate. That will be this entire ifs function. After that, we need a comma. And the value if_error argument means what do we want to be displayed instead of the #NA error. And if we just want the cell to be blank, we type 2 quotation marks without any space in between. With this cell, the logic is if the publish date is blank, then this cell should also be blank. We can add the if function to this formula. And notice that Excel is now using the table's structured reference. Check out my channel for videos about Excel tables. We want to know if this cell is blank. If that is true, then this formula should return a blank. If the logical test is false, then the original text formula will run. And we need an extra bracket to close off the if function. Now, when we enter new data into our Content Hub, our fantastic formulas will react dynamically. Now that we've laid the foundation for our Content Hub, conditional formatting is our secret weapon. We'll start with this first column. If we forget to enter the ID number, we want it to highlight in red. Select the cells first, and because the data has been converted to a table, the conditional format will apply to any new rows as well. We need to create a new rule using a formula. And the logic behind the formula is if any other cell in the same row is not empty, and this video ID cell is empty, then the cell should be highlighted. We can start with the AND function. And the way to think of this is everything that we type in this box has to be true in order for the cell to change color. The first condition is this cell would be empty. We want to fix the column A part of the formula. This means Excel will only check column A to see if the cell is blank. Then we need a comma. The second condition is basically, have we entered anything inside of this cell or either of these cells? We can nest the OR function in here. The OR function brings its own pair of brackets. And we want to know if any of these cells are not empty. We don't want to fix the row numbers. Close the brackets for the OR function. Close the brackets for the AND function. With this column, we're not particularly bothered if the cell is blank, but if we set the upload to yes, then we ought to know the publishing date. So we want the cell to be highlighted. Create a new rule. Start with the AND function. The first condition is this cell here is empty. The second condition is the upload is set to yes. Let's give it a test. And what we're saying is, if we upload a video without a publish date, our super duper Content Hub will alert us. When we fill in the missing data, the conditional format will respond instantly. Imagine we filled in the publishing date and the duration for the video, but for whatever reason, we have yet to upload the video. In this scenario, we just want conditional formatting to remind us in this column. Start with the AND function, and the first thing we need to check is this cell empty or equal to no? We can use the OR function. Check if it's equal to blank. The second condition is check if it's equal to no. Close the brackets for the OR function, back inside the AND function, and we want to know if the publish date and the duration have been entered. And if everything inside of this box is true, the conditional format will kick in. With this column, if we've uploaded the video, but this cell is empty, it probably means we've forgotten to fill in the duration. we'll get conditional formatting to remind us. So what we want to do now is enter some new data and see how our fabulous content hub behaves. If we enter a duration for this video, we'll see conditional format lights up.